Hills when I met her for my first 2005 aortic meeting in Senegal. She made sure she volunteered me for several workshops and speaking positions. Little did I know she was grooming me to take over from her position as Secretary Treasurer of Aortic. Several years later, I learned a lot from her, never condescending, though, and I was very scared of this high-achieving colleague. Through humility, I followed her every thought processes for 2 years, tagging along and was sharply equipped for the job. I hardly had to go back because I knew how Lynn would like me to do it. And she never allowed me to whimper, urging me on. Had to go back. I never had to go back because I knew how Lynn wanted things to be done. Knowing the type of mentor she was, I made sure I never let her down. She also shared her health journey with me, which was good as an oncologist, strengthening me to be involved in my patient care as well. She never gave up, always bounced up, soldering on. I was ecstatic when I met her again in Turkey in January last year at the Lancet Commissioners meeting, and she gave me a rundown of what was happening in her life, again, achieving her academic roles and continuing with her mentoring roles as well. Professor Denny was an icon academically and in her every dealings with a big heart for cancer care in sub-Saharan Africa, bringing professionals together through aortic and so many other professions as well. So with this, I would like to say, may Professor Lynette Denny rest in peace and her legacy continues to live on through this generation and the next. So with that, I would like to introduce the current president of aortic, Dr. Miriam Metebi, to give her tributes.
Good afternoon, everyone, and really happy to see all of us on the call, all friends and colleagues and from different parts of the continent and beyond. I think really on behalf of the current council, I would like to convey our deepest condolences, but really to think about celebrating the life of Professor Denny, who has touched each of us on the call in one way or another, whether as a friend, as an educator, as a mentor, as a colleague. We've all benefited on an individual level and really at on a organizational level from really the efforts and enthusiasm that Prof. Denny brought to her role. And I think perhaps when we're thinking about a celebration of life, one of the things that we do want to think about is start at the end. And one of the profound things that I think one of the quotes that Prof. Denny said was, to be able to be of service to your community is a great privilege. And I think that's something that we should reflect on and ramify throughout the course of this entire discourse, really thinking through how do we, in our individual roles as oncologists, researchers, cancer advocates, healthcare providers, really amplify or exemplify that ethos. From an aortic perspective, we're ensuring that her efforts and accomplishments continue to ramify. And one of the things that we have developed for the next Aortic 2025 is really looking at a dedicated track that celebrates or at least reflects her life work around women's health and gynecological malignancies, but really trying to ensure that we infuse that with the mentorship role where we're looking at programs and initiatives that will help to amplify really her tenets around excellence, academic excellence, but also thinking around the core elements of empathy that she embodied. And all of us in our interactions have some story or another where we've had an interaction, she's been incredibly supportive, and really having that, I would say, the tenets of mentorship, service, and really just basic kindness that will go a long way towards ensuring that her legacy lives on. So once again, to welcome you all as we celebrate, as we go through this celebration together, and to really think through beyond this celebration, how do we ensure that our ethos lives on in our day-to-day practice and interactions with each other and with our patients. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miriam. I'll hand over to Dr. Mbatani, who has worked with Lynn for many, many years, to give her work experiences with Lynn.
Thank you so much, Dr. Van der Poel. I'm not sure whether you can see me.
We can.
As the Obstetrics and Gynecology Department, we had the honor of meeting with Prof. Denny for the last time on Friday, the 31st of May. For some reason, her health had suddenly turned around. And like the soldier that Lynn was, the first thing she thought to do was to get back to work. And that was the spirit of Lynn. Besides her academic accolades and her sharp mind, Lynn was a caring human being to us all in the department. She could offer helpful advice on any issue that we had, be it social, emotional, or academic. Her knowledge of the world kept her on top of her game. As a clinician and physician, Lynn was meticulous in everything that she did. In the operating theaters, her words to me, and that continue to ring in my ears, are, "Stop! What are you trying to achieve?" Lynn cared immensely about her patients and always taught us to look beyond the patient's biological diagnosis. As registrars, we all knew that history without consideration of the patient's social circumstances was a cause for concern. She made us realize the importance of the patient's background and how it impacts on the patient's diagnosis, the patient's recovery, and treatment. And she measured the value of a physician by the level of compassion for patients and very little about their academic knowledge. Lynn fought for women, especially the underprivileged. She was instrumental in making changes that valued women in particular. She sought funding to design a decent room for women who were victims of sexual abuse in our hospital. And she redesigned the maternity unit because at the time she thought the women were not deserving of laboring in such circumstances. Our gynae emergency room had to be moved to an area that was respectful to women. She held workshops that addressed respectful care of women in labor. In addition, relations with the nurses, the medical students, admin staff, and senior academic members were very important to Lynn. And during her tenure as HOD, her office was a walk-in office for all, regardless of rank. I think as a department and for myself as well, I will always remember her, not only for her academic knowledge and achievements, but also for the mentorship, the collegiality, the friendship, and the values she taught to us all. I will always remember her, and may her soul continue to live in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that moving tribute. Her legacy continues to live on. And I'll continue now we'll continue with a video clip about aortic in the early years, followed by a pre-recorded video tribute from our past presidents of aortic.
The real purpose of aortic is to put cancer on the African health agenda. It is to stimulate and facilitate research into cancer as it relates to Africans, and to facilitate training in all aspects, whether it's preventative healthcare, whether it's in diagnostics, whether it's in therapeutics, therapeutic approaches, or palliative care. So that's what we're doing. We're growing slowly. There's many different organizations working in Africa in cancer. In fact, one of our projects is what we call the African Union database, where we're trying to find out every organization in every country in Africa working in cancer and trying to create some sort of synergy.
Thank you so much. That'll be followed by tributes. Thank you.
I pay this tribute to my dear friend, treasured sister, a hardworking colleague, a world-class leader in cancer research, and above all, an institutional builder. Although she succumbed to the very disease she researched, her work, together with others, has shifted the boundaries of knowledge in that field. When a cure is eventually found for this dreaded disease, I believe a worthy contribution to that will be recognized and duly acknowledged. Professor Denny served EORTC with distinction and with passion. As a first secretary-treasurer, she was a very principled leader, always insisting on doing things right. Lynn committed her heart, body, soul, mind, and spirit to laying a strong foundation for the growth of EORTC. What EORTC is today is attributable to the solid foundation she laid in her tenure as secretary-treasurer. In the period she served, Lynn was EORTC and EORTC was Lynn. Working with her as first president of EORTC from 2003 was a great privilege and joy. With lightning speed and with great sense of humor as well, Professor Denny worked hard to set up an office for EORTC in South Africa. Together with others, including myself, she worked to produce the constitution of EORTC. She also networked EORTC with international cancer groups in the US, Europe, and Asia. Almost single-handedly, she raised funds to set up the secretariat and for major meetings of the organization. This bold, brave, and honest leader also made EORTC visible in Africa through the African Union. The vital role she played in the setting up of a mentoring program for young cancer researchers to ensure sustainable development of EORTC is recognized. Professor Denny will be remembered as a distinguished scholar, an institutional builder, a disciplined academic, and a trailblazer in cancer research in Africa and the world. Emulating her character, work ethic, passion, and aspirations for excellence will be a fitting tribute to pay to her memory. I'm also certain Professor Denny will cherish this as legacy. God gave, God has taken away, blessed be his holy name. Lynn, we are grateful to you for putting all your resources into establishing EORTC as an institution for cancer research for generations to come and to bless Africa and the world. Thank you very much. May your soul, which is gentle, sweet, and loving, rest in peace. Our condolences to all members of Lynn's family. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Professor Emeritus Aite, one of our earlier presidents.
I wish to thank the leadership of EORTC for putting together this program of tribute in honor of Professor Lynn Denny. It is difficult to discuss Lynn, as I fondly call her, in the past tense, having worked with her closely for the past 20 years. Our first contact was as members of the Sub-Saharan African Cervical Cancer Working Group, which she led admirably for 4 years before I took over from her. Thereafter, I served as president-elect of EORTC with her support and encouragement for 2 years, from 2009 to 2011, and as president of EORTC from 2011 to 2013. Lynn is a caring physician, a teacher of teachers, an iconic researcher. She led the African Women Against Cervical Cancer program, which we conducted in Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. And that research program remained an icon and a reference point in HPV distribution in cervical cancer till today. Lynn is fondly regarded as the white South African who stood by and for African women, majority of who are voiceless and marginalized. Lynn is a strong advocate, a voice for equity, a voice for fairness, and a voice for justice. May her legacy endure forever. God bless Lynn.
We lost a great person, Professor Denny. Along our life, we may agree or disagree about many issues in life and work, but I am sure that we are all agree about the heroic efforts and work of Lynn for our aortic. In addition, surely to her outstanding, distinguished career in gynecology and in science and cancer control. Dearest Lynn, I pray peace on your soul. Dearest Lenny, and thank you, Lynn. Ahmed Zawawi, past president, aortic.
Thank you very much. We will continue with a discussion of Lynn's projects in South Africa by Dr. Rakia Seidu.
Difficult actually to understand the whole project without seeing some images. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my slides.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to talk about the Kalicha screening project, and which is a project that has been the pet. Actually, it's more than a pet, but it's something that is very close to Lynn's heart. And this is our logo. It took Lynn many months actually to work with a medical student who does drawings to come up with this logo, ensuring that the headscarf is there to ensure that the woman in this photo represents an African woman. And it was a lot of work, a lot of effort to get exactly what she wanted. And and since then, this has been our logo. So how it all started. In the late 80s, early 90s, Lynn worked as part of a UCT-led outreach that included a mobile van with an on-site technician to read pap smears. And because what she realized was that, and what she wanted to work on was that there's a lot of loss to follow up on patients who have done pap smears, and the program was not working as she would have liked it to work, so she decided to step in. And so this is how it started, going out into the communities with containers. And while doing that, she also realized that, we have to make sure that her conviction is that we must use science to advance health and to improve the health of all women, not only women who can afford healthcare, but every woman, and especially vulnerable women. And that was what brought about the Kalicha Cervical Screening Project. That was since 1995. And but another thing that was born in 1995 was a partnership between Professor Denny and Professor Louise School of Columbia University. She's also on this call, I saw when she joined. So they started this partnership in 1995, and since 1995, they have been working together on every single project that took place in Kalicha. the two women. And I put two photos of before and now, what they both look like. I joined these great ladies in 2014, and what I got from it is more than research. What I got mentorship, I got love, I got respect, and I got compassion. And I have been taught the values of this. Love, respect, compassion. I'm the student there, but I am treated as an equal in this partnership. And it's very heartwarming. And I tell you, over the last 10 years, every single day, I either talk to Lynn on the phone or see her in the office or write a message to her every day. No holiday, no public holiday, no when I travel home. All the time, she always reaches out to find out how I am doing. That was what I got. So the whole project started in 1995, like I said, and they got a funding from these organizations, which lasted 10 years. And since then, many research grants worth millions of dollars have been carried out at this research site. And Lynn was the first person to lead the first randomized controlled trial in Africa on the safety and efficacy, and actually shaped what is now known as the screen and treat approach to cervical cancer screening. And her research also kind of modified it and refined it to introduce HPV-based cervical cancer point of care screen and treat algorithm. And her research has laid the foundation of the current IFWHO screening guidelines that we have. Currently, as she left us, we are running 4 NIH-funded grants in cervical cancer prevention. The site has screened tens of thousands of women, over 60,000 women. We offered pap smear and colposcopy services to the community, not out of research, but just as a service to the community. We also trained colposcopists at the primary care level to support decentralization of colposcopy services in the country. And during COVID, while we are not allowed to do human research, we now embarked on clearing backlog of abnormal paps that require colposcopies from all the community clinics around us. And after that, we have continued to offer colposcopy services to the clinics, even though we are doing the research, but we have organized how we run our research and also run these services. And apart from the researches, as we have heard earlier, Lynn is a champion for women, vulnerable women. So we offer services also to empower women, including making them in contact when they require services like rape crisis, the South African Police Services, other gynae issues that need referral, family planning issues, we require them, gender-based violence, and other social issues. And we even have pamphlets which we share to women in case they require the services when we are not around, with numbers, phone numbers, and if they require anything, they can actually also call us and we can see how to make these connections for them and make the referrals. We also have in the communities pamphlets and posters to tell people about cervix and the cervix health. We're very popular in Kalicha community. I promise you, just go in there and ask, they know about us. So the structure itself is made of shipping containers. This was the first time they were put in 1995. They were given and they were loaded by cranes. And then later, prefab rooms were also added to the site. And the site looked like this. This is Lynn doing what she knows what to do best in the place, in the site, in those early years. On August 8, 2022, it was a very good day for Lynn. It was one of the days one of the proudest days of her life. We did a great opening of extension of the site, and everybody was present. The provincial minister of health was there. The head of the department was there. The head of the Department of Health of the Western Cape was there. The Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research was there. Of course, our deanery was there. This is our dean, the HOD, everybody was there. And it was really well attended. And she was really a proud mother of that project that day. You could see it. We also had people from Columbia University, from New York that came, and other people from other parts of South Africa. So this is Lynn talking during the grand opening. This is after we just finished and everybody was chatting. And this is a powerful group of women who have been championing women. And this includes Monday from UCT, David and Louise from Colombia, Dumiso from East London, and Dr. Boa Ross, who has worked with Lynn for many, many years. This is a little, it's a tour kind of our site. And so when you come into the clinic, this is what you first see. You first meet and talk with them. These are all in the shipping containers anyway. So you first see the secretary of the project, who now introduces whatever we are doing. And then this is one of the stations of the nurses. This is one colposcopy room we have. And this room is also used by the clinic when they want to run colposcopy services also. And then this is the staff room, where the staff of the project also take tea and rest when they need to rest. And so this we are sharing with the public clinic. This is the new site that we launched the other time, and it includes toilets because before we had to enter the clinics for toilet, but now we have got our own toilets. And yeah, so this is basically what our site looks like. We have a second colposcopy room also, so we have 2 colposcopy rooms. We have a room where we autoclave all our instruments. We are old school, we still use colposcopes. And then upstairs in the containers, we have the data room where all data things are done and are kept. We also have the room for the project coordinator for all administration. And we have the room for our gene expert machine where we run our mini lab, where we run our samples. And yeah, basically, this is what our site is about. And I have said what we have done, and it's powered by these powerful ladies. It's not all the staff, but these are some of the staff that are at the site. And the last time she came to the site was on the 15th of May, and she said her goodbyes to all the staff, telling them that she's ready to go. She's happy with what is going on. She's happy her projects are doing well. She's happy we are doing well in the project, and told us, will you people stop praying for me and let me go? I am ready to go. After that was the last visit she came and said her goodbyes to all the staff. And I thank you very much for listening. You are always welcome. We've had, over the years, we've had so many visitors from all over the world. Anytime you come to South Africa, please, you are welcome to come and visit our site. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rukia, for that. And that was just typically Lynn. We'll move on to more tributes from our past presidents, Professor Ngoma, Jim Mary, Kabongo, and Christina. Please go ahead.
My name is Professor Twalib Ngoma of Tanzania. Tribute to Lynn Denny. I must say I was shattered when I got the news of my friend Lynn Denny passing on. Lynn Denny came into my life during the Aotic meeting in Dakar in 2005. After meeting her, my professional life and my perception of Aotic has never been the same. The meeting with Lynn Denny left a long-lasting impression about Aotic on me. Lynn's determination, strong will, and sheer grit got her through tough early days of reviving Aotic, which was an organization struggling in the intensive care unit. Aotic had been dormant for many years before that. One thing I noted was that Lynn had a strong work ethic. She was intelligent and had enviable capacity to understand issues regarding the continent of Africa and aortic. Personally, I felt that I was fortunate to know her and was also fortunate to work with her as the president of aortic between 2007 and 2009. I will always remember her quick wit, beautiful smile, and her love to see aortic grow into a regional cancer organization for Africa. My thoughts are with her, and my prayer is that Almighty God keeps her in peace in heaven. My final word is that Lynn was a shining light, which now has been extinguished, and far too soon. In spite of that, the shining light will ever be cherished. Thank you.
Prof. Denny was a wonderful aortic member with an outstanding commitment to serve our organization. As Secretary Treasury, she did all her best to serve and help aortic go ahead. Could she rest in peace? Prof. Denny has été un membre formidable de l'aortique avec dévouement et un engagement remarquable. Comme secrétaire trésorière, elle a fait de son mieux pour le développement de notre organisation. Que son âme repose en paix.
When I think of Lynn,
Thank you very
I'm thinking
much.
of a beacon of hope in the fight against cervical cancer. In the vast landscape of the African healthcare, few names shine as brightly as Lynn Denny. Her life was a testament to unwavering dedication, profound compassion, a relentless advocacy for the equity and equality of women battling cervical cancer. She left an indelible mark on the world, and we honor her legacy. Lynn was not only a distinguished researcher, but also a visionary leader who recognized the unique challenges faced by the African women. Early in her career, she observed the disproportionate impact of cervical cancer on women in low-resource settings. Determined to make a difference, she dedicated her life to addressing these disparities and ensuring that every woman, regardless of her socio-economic status, had access to quality health care. Her pioneering research in cervical cancer prevention and treatment has saved countless lives. Her efforts significantly increased awareness and education about cervical cancer across the continent. Beyond her scientific contributions, Lynn was a tireless advocate for women's health rights. She believed that health equity was not just a matter of access to services, but also a matter of social justice. She believed in women and young women researchers, offering her unlimited support and guidance. Lynn understood that sustainable change required empowerment of the communities. She organized countless workshops and training sessions for healthcare providers, ensuring that they had the skills and the knowledge to offer the best care possible. Her legacy is a legacy of hope and resilience. Her work has inspired a new generation of researchers, healthcare providers, and advocates who continue to fight for a world where no woman has to suffer from cervical cancer. Her contributions have laid a strong foundation for ongoing efforts to eradicate the disease and to ensure that all women have the opportunity to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. As we remember Lynn, we celebrate her unwavering commitment to equity and equality, her pioneering spirit, and her profound impact on the lives of countless women. Her life was a beacon of hope, and her legacy will continue to light the way towards a future free from cervical cancer. Rest well, Len. You built a strong foundation, and many will continue your amazing work.
Thank you so much. We will move on with a tribute from Belmira Rodriguez, our aortic managing director who has worked with things across many decades.
Thank you. It is with a really heavy, thank you. It is with a really heavy heart that I pay tribute to Lynn. Having worked very closely with her from the beginning when aortic was reactivated in 2004, I always had great admiration and respect for her. Although her big personality preceded her, as she was well known to me at the time, only when working with her so closely did I come to recognize her true humanity. Her devotion and volunteerism, for her passion to make a difference in women's lives in South Africa and beyond our borders, was something to aspire to. That one person can touch so many lives and make a difference was an inspiration. She had a clear vision for aortic and was unwavering in all her contributions and her decision-making. At the same time, she always had a lending ear for everybody that was around her. Everybody's opinion mattered. When Lynn was faced with her own health issues, she put it aside and selflessly continued to be fully engaged in her research work and volunteerism for aortic. I recall in the year 2011, when aortic held its conference in Cairo, her health prohibited her from traveling, but she kept in contact via Skype with me every day. She needed to know what was going on there. She cared. And this made me realize the true essence of Lynn and how selfless she was. Although there is a void I feel in the world right now, she has left a legacy that will continue. Lynn will be forever in my heart. May a beautiful soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Belmira. We will move on with a video clip of Lynn in action.
Preventing the premature death of women from cancer needs to be high on the global health agenda. The most important cause of premature death from cancer are breast and cervix cancer. Breast cancer is treatable through early detection, with survival rates of over 90% reported from high-income countries versus 40 to 50% in most LMICs. Cervical cancer is known to be preventable, and the global WHO-driven initiative to eliminate cervical cancer as a public health problem must be supported and accelerated. The creation of orphans through death from cancer in women is a key driver of inequality, marginalization, suffering, and socio-economic distress. It is time to act. Thank you for your attention.
continue with more slideshows and photos, followed by further tributes by our past presidents.
Hello, I would like to pay a wonderful tribute to Professor Denny, the architect of modern IoT, which is the African Organization for Research and Training in Cancer. I call her the architect of modern IoT because of what I'm going to say today. I came to know Denny in 2009, over 15 years ago, at the IoT Biannual Conference in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, when I first came across her. And she was the then secretary treasurer of the organization. And during the conference, Lynn was literally everywhere, full of energy, and in every corner, trying to make things work, trying to make sure that everything is in its place. And she was so good at it that you will think that her life really depends on it. And that was not all. A few years after, I met Lynn again in Durban, South Africa, at yet another biannual IoT conference. And it was adjudged the best IoT conference ever because Lynn made sure that things is happening in her home country, South Africa, it has to be great. Lynn was not only secretary treasurer, she was president, she was vice president, she was fundraiser, all joined in one. And that's the Lynn that I know. After several years of my involvement with IoT, I really came to see and admire this Amazon because of her selflessness, unwavering dedication and commitment to everything that she is doing, especially to the cause of the African Organization for Research and Training in Cancer. And importantly, because of her sincerity of purpose. And for over 13 years, she dedicated herself to the organization and her time and resources. And she almost single-handedly, with few support of course, turned a moribund organization into a global cancer research organization and an African pride. Elected president in 2019, My first point of call was her office at the time that she was really quite ill with metastatic disease, breast cancer. And even as that, it never deterred her to come and give her wisdom, her support. And she actually took several hours to listen to me, to understand what will be my point of changes that I want to institute in IOTIC. And after listening to me, she gave me a lot of wise counsel, and that shaped my presidency. In spite of COVID, I'm happy to note that during my presidency, we were able to do so many things. And this is because I got the wise counsel, the support of Denny. Denny was not only an advocate and a researcher, she was humane, because most of her research are not only in the urban areas, but in the downtrodden part of South Africa, and indeed the downtrodden of Africa. She will remain the most human person I have ever met, and I do know that history will judge her very kindly. What a wonderful human being she was. She's gone, but she will never be forgotten. And she has put her foot in the sands of time and the annal of history. IOTIC is greatly indebted to Denny, and forever IOTIC will remain indebted to Denny. Not only IOTIC, but even individuals such as myself will forever remain indebted to Denny, because she has not only given us wise counsel in IOTIC or in organizations, but also in research, in publications, just name it, anything that revolves around cancer. And once you reach out to Denny, you can be rest assured that yes, you will get the right counsel that you require. We will miss her, we truly miss her, but we will never, never forget Denny, the Amazon of Africa, the architect of modern IOTIC. Adieu, my dear sister Denny. Thank you.
I first met Lynn during the 2003 meeting in Accra, Ghana. I was immediately drawn to her dedication to cancer work. She invited me to Cape Town to see what she was doing in cervical cancer prevention. And from there, our friendship blossomed. Lynn served as Secretary-Treasurer of IOTIC for many years, and she worked tirelessly to elevate the organization to new heights. A very remarkable human being, Lynn was a kind-hearted woman. She played a significant role in my career, guiding me in the field of cervical cancer prevention and giving me numerous opportunities to present at international meetings. A champion in the fight against cervical cancer in Africa and LMICs. Lynn was a brilliant researcher, a teacher, a mentor, and a great advocate for women's health. Her compassion for the underserved populations and her dedication to serving humanity set her apart. Lynn's legacy will live for ages as she positively impacted on the lives of many around the globe. I will never forget the last time I saw Lynn in Cape Town in March 2023. Little did I know that that would be the last time of being with her. I am very grateful for all that she did for me. And I expressed my gratitude to her in a message I sent on the 22nd of May, 2024. Lynn's memory will forever live on in our hearts. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you so much for this moving on.
This is a very sad day for me to have to talk about Lynette Denny when she is no more. I have known Lynn for more than 20 years since we met in Accra at an awarding meeting. And then we started collaborating and became friends, true friends. And AOT wouldn't have never been what it is now without Lynn's contribution. Lynn was very committed and dedicated to developing the most important cancer organization in Africa. She has given the entire life to developing the organization and helped put AOT on the world map. Lynn has spent all this time working, and I was very privileged to visit twice the outreach place he had in Kailisha, where she was serving the underserved people in very remote area, doing her research not in the fancy offices of big universities, but in the very remote place in South Africa. I was privileged to meet Lynn last year when she came to Dakar, and I knew it was the last time we're going to meet in this life. And I wish she rests in perfect peace. And would like to extend my condolences to her family, to Ruben and the nieces of Lynn she loved dearly, to the University of Cape Town she was serving, and to aortic leadership, aortic membership, and especially aortic office in Cape Town she helped build, and with Belmira, Sky, Khadija, and others who were supporting her during her active days in aortic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to a tribute by Dr. Williams, who's one of the founding members of AOTIC.
AOTIC lost a nurturing and transformative leader with the recent passing of Professor Lynette Denny. The initial association of Dr. Lynette Denny, Professor of Gynecology of the University of Cape Town, South Africa, with AOTIC occurred in October 2003 at the Fourth International Conference on Cancer in Africa, which had been organized to hold in Accra, Ghana, with the chief objective of reactivating the organization following its inactivity in Africa since the end of the 1980s. Her performance at the meeting was so outstanding that her leadership role in the newly reactivated organization was unquestionable. In her subsequent role as the secretary of AOTIC, she promptly proceeded to create a dynamic administrative office actualizing the international activities of AOTIC with global and futuristic outreach. AOTIC grew from being an organization of cancer physicians of sub-Saharan Africa to become an international one of more than 30 nations, including more than 5 non-African nations. Its professional disciplines also expanded to include nursing, palliative care, and other paramedical disciplines. At various meetings held in various parts of Africa, it was not uncommon to see Lynette Denny using her charm and finesse to overcome the cultural challenges of a multinational and multi-ethnic organization like ours. Her enduring legacy includes the biennial conferences of cancer in Africa, held in places with diverse ambience, from the vineyards of Western Cape at the southern tip of Africa to the pyramids of Cairo in North Africa, and from Dar es Salaam on the Indian Ocean to Dakar, Senegal, on Africa's most western coast. In the process, EOTIC has increasingly been attracting global participation, with opportunities for cultural and educational cross-fertilization. While we collectively mourn the premature departure of our great colleague and friend, we have a duty to commit ourselves to the continuation of her unfinished business, including the elimination of the scourge of cancer of the cervix, to which she dedicated much of her work among the poor in the Western Cape area of South Africa, and which continues to ravage much of Africa and the developing world. We are grateful to the Denny family of Cape Town for sharing their daughter with us, the Aotic family, and indeed with the entire continent of Africa, which she so gracefully embraced.
I don't feel afraid of dying. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think there are a lot of things much worse than death, such as being alive in this world. No, but I think there are things worse than death. And I think things like war, which causes death, and the othering of people, and the disrespect, the way in which people are harmed by bad human behavior. Some of the aspects of cancer, there are aspects of it which are very humiliating. And I have been really tortured by the side effects from a lot of the chemotherapy, and really in ways that are just too even embarrassing to discuss and can be mortifying. I often say, put one step in front of the other and get up, move on.
but sometimes it is hard to do that.
Lynn was very brave in her cancer journey. And as oncologists, I think that is very important for us to understand the patient and ourselves when it comes to that. I'm so glad that we are all able to make this very pleasurable and important tribute to Lynette, who we have engraved in our hearts. There are a lot of charts in there expressing encounters within across the globe, and we are really happy to see that. And I hope we all learn our lessons from that, and the sacrifice, the humility, and the lessons learned along the way. And most of all, importantly, to uphold improving the cancer outcomes in Africa, which she made sure we all took part in, and we shouldn't fail her with this. So with this, I would like to thank you all for your time. You know, it's in the middle of the day. Most people have their clinics and whatnot, so have their research, and we really appreciate it. And we hope to see you at the next aortic meeting. Not the big one coming to Tunisia, but we have so many other meetings. And we hope to see you on there to continue with Lynn's legacy. Thank you so much for making it here.
Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre mostra tutto il mio cuore che è acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che ho incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e passato con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te, partirò sulla per mari che io lo so, non esistono più. It's time to say goodbye.
Quando sei lontana sogno all'orizzonte e manca le parole. E io sì lo so che sei con me, tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me. Mio sole, tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so, non esistono più. Con te io li rivivrò.
Who can say for certain? Maybe you're still here. I feel you all around me. Your memory so clear. Deep in the stillness, I can hear you speak. You're still an inspiration. Can it be that you are mine forever, love, and you are watching over from up above. Fly me up to where you are beyond a distant star. I wish upon tonight to see you smile, if only for a while to know you're there. A breath away is not far to where you are. You gently sleeping here inside my dream? And isn't faith believing all power can't be seen? As my heart holds you just one beat away, I cherish all you gave me every day. 'Cause you are mine, forever love, watching me from above. And I believe that angels breathe, and that love will live on and never leave. Fly me up to where you are beyond the distant star. I wish upon tonight to see you smile, if only for a while to know
the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there